And we are live at the Good Fortune Dinner and getting ready to recognize lots of wonderful people in our community.
My name is Dan Otte, and I'm the superintendent here with the Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities. We just want to welcome you to one of my absolute favorite evenings of the year, where we get an opportunity just to thank so many people, both who work for our agency, but are also connected in our community and supporting folks with developmental disabilities throughout Clermont County. We are so lucky. It's been such a great year. 2016 has been just a fantastic year. It started off in the first quarter, and I'm going to have to apologize. I think my son brought home the plague, so I'm pretty sure I have it. So it's going to be I'm going to have to charge through here, so please forgive me. So it's been that kind of week. So I've got a multitude of cough drops over there, so we'll get through it there. But start off the year 2016 with the opportunity to really, as so many folks in this room were involved with campaigning for our levy. And it was such an exciting time because, for me especially, I have an opportunity to meet with so many community members, community stakeholders, people that we serve, families, and just heard story after story about how the services and how the different things that folks receive around our county impact their lives. And that is it was such a powerful time. And that March day, on the election day, was such a great day because it was just kind of that, it was all those results kind of coming together and being able to see that support in our community. So there's so many folks to thank, and many of those folks are in this room, so we just want to do that. So it's been a great 2016, and we're going to kind of try and sum it up tonight with honoring many folks that are part of what makes this community such a great community for folks with developmental disabilities. So I want to welcome you. I do want to just take a second to recognize a couple of folks, a couple of our elected officials in the room. So first and foremost, I'd like to recognize Commissioner Ed Humphreys. So if you could all recognize. And from Pierce Township, we have Pierce Township trustee Bob Palke. So we have a couple of our longtime board members here tonight, and so we'd like to recognize Greg Carson and Harry Snyder up here in the front, so if you can give them a round of applause. And last but not least, we have Mr. Jeff Diesel, who is part of our Powers B board, so if you give him a round of applause. So I'd really like to introduce our MC for tonight. I just have such great respect for our MC, and I'm so appreciative that he decided to help us out tonight with doing this. Dr. Greg Soika. So I'll do a quick introduction here. Dr. Greg Soika is serving as Master of Ceremonies for tonight's event. He came to Clermont County in 2010 when he became the Dean of UC Clermont. Previously, he held administrative and faculty positions at Wichita State University, the University of Wyoming, Casper College Center, and Lewis Clark State College in Idaho. He moved to the University of Rio Grande in Ohio, where he served as Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs from 1994 through 2006, and then President from 2006 to 2008. Dr. Soika has a Bachelor of Arts degree in Secondary English Education and completed his Master of Arts in English and his PhD in American Literature. With all that being said, you can imagine how excited we were when Greg became involved in Clermont County. He's a Rotarian. I'm a fellow Rotarian with him at the Eastside Rotary Club, so I appreciate that. And he is also, he's always the first person to sign up whenever there's a Rotary event or fundraiser, and he does so with a smile at every turn. He currently serves as the chairman of the Clermont Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and is assistant Clermont DD in the past. In fact, one of the staff won our second Dancing with the Stars event in 2011, so that was awesome. And in 2015, Dr. Soyka decided to leave his post as dean, but not the classroom. He's currently professor of English at UC's Westwoods Academic Center, and after hearing him tonight, you'll understand why those English students are the luckiest people in the world. So Dr. Soyka and his wife Jane enjoy spending their spare time with their 3 daughters, Laura, Ann, and Joan. And I also want to mention I'm a fellow LEAD graduate with Greg. He and I went through the 2012 class together. That was the first opportunity I had a chance to meet Greg. And he's a big Reds fan. I also am a big Reds fan, so we connect in that way. I actually made it to the end of the World Series game last night, and he did not. So, so I just want to welcome. Yeah, and I'm sick, and he's not. He said so. There you go. So I just want to welcome Greg to the podium here. So give him a warm welcome.
Appreciate it. If Dan, you're not feeling too well tonight, if any of you are feeling ill, I'm Dr. Soyka, but I can't help you feel better. Talk to Dr. Ball sitting in the back of the room, back there with Bob Pauke. Bob, what did you do last year? They're sitting you in the back of the room and you misbehave or something. Thanks again for the honor to be at this event. We're so lucky in this community to have wonderful Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities here to serve our residents. 68% of people that voted approved the levy. So for sure, the quality of life in the community is measured by how we take care of those less fortunate. So that's what happens in our county, and that's why this is a great place to live and work. And some of the board members here, I want to thank the board members for volunteering to do this. I read one time, those who can do, and those who can do more, volunteer. So, and I know your board does that so well. So we are also lucky to have a great superintendent such as Dan. So Dan, stand up for a while, remain standing. As Dan said, I got a chance to meet him in the Lead Clermont 2012 class, right?
Yes.
And we think it's the best lead class ever. Other people might disagree with that, but that's just our opinion. And, you know, Dan called me a couple weeks ago, and it was a real strange telephone conversation. He said, Greg, do you believe in the Constitution of the United States? And I said, yes, I do. And he said, how about the Bill of Rights? And I said, for sure, I believe in the Bill of Rights. He paused for a while and he said, how about free speech? And I said, yes, I'm for free speech. So he said, how'd you like to give one? And that's how I ended up here tonight. He is a solid citizen, but everybody has a few quirks. I wasn't there to see it, but I think just around the corner is the Cafe Paradiso. Maybe about October 1st, he was spotted wearing some furry pajamas and a strange costume. And so I've got one question to ask him. What sound does a fox make? Okay.
I have completely retired from that.
I don't know. I heard some trick-or-treaters in the neighborhood got to see another performance and put that away. All right, you can sit down. Now I'm going to practice the 4 B's of public speaking as I learned them a few years ago, Harry. My speech teacher, after he got a chance to know me a little bit, he said, 4 B's of public speaking, Greg. Be informative, be humorous, but most importantly, be brief and be seated. So I think it's time to get on to our recognition program. For many years, the Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities has acknowledged the accomplishments of those who go above and beyond, making our county a better place for individuals who have disabilities. They are volunteers, defined by one person as dedicated people who believe in all work and no pay. And you're all here this evening. The Clermont DDs held these appreciation banquets and recognition ceremonies over the years to thank all of you, unsung heroes who help so many people in their day-to-day lives. Volunteers, providers, business owners, and so many more. So tonight, we get a chance to recognize several people and groups who are tireless in their efforts to advocate for people with disabilities and truly become friends and supporters of Clermont DD agency as a whole. So now I invite all of you to sit back, relax, appreciate, and enjoy hearing about the good things that are taking place at Clermont DD and the wonderful people who make it happen. So here's the process. In September, nominations were accepted in a number of different categories. These nominations were collected and reviewed by judges by the Adams County Board of DD and Venture Productions. We salute everybody who's nominated for the various categories and look forward to recognizing your accomplishments. So, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's get started. Our first recognition of the night was for the provider category. Presenting these awards are Sharon Richmond, Director of Community Support Services. So let's welcome Sharon.
Providers are individuals and agencies who do many things for those we serve at Clermont DD. They deliver exemplary services to individuals by caring for their personal needs, connecting individuals to social aspects in the community, and coaching the individual to learn skills that will help establish a typical routine. Providers listen to the individual and guide them in making choices that lead toward gaining independence. Providers are there when the individual needs advice, a listening ear, or a shoulder to lean upon. It is Clermont DD's good fortune to work with so many caring providers each year. Please come forward as your name or agency name is called. Tri-State Premier Healthcare Services, Victoria Chester, Connie Mish, Right at Home, Emma Brown, Southwest Ohio Developmental Center, Extended Family, LLC, and Joan Arthur. We also have the opportunity to work with partner agencies that provide services or volunteer whenever we need them. They are the Clermont County YMCA, Stepping Stones, and Ohio Valley Goodwill Industries. Thank you all so much, and we're going to come up and have a few photos. This person has extensive medical needs. Over the last year, the individual has been hospitalized on multiple occasions for various reasons. When hospitalized, homefront nursing did not bill for any time. However, they care so much for this person, they send staff to stay with her so she has someone at the hospital who is familiar to her. She has no family living in the area and would essentially be alone if it were not for homefront nursing. Staff are paid by homefront nursing even though the agency is not getting paid. There was an incident back in December that occurred at the hospital, and if it were not for homefront staff, the person may not have survived. To us, this goes above and beyond. To homefront staff, it's just part of their daily routine. Tonight, we present Homefront Nursing with the Provider of the Year Award. It is our good fortune to work with you. Next, we salute Pine Ridge, Pine Village as Provider of the Year. Pine Ridge, Pine Village has been providers for individuals with developmental disabilities for many years. This year, they have stepped up to the plate in many ways, providing emergency respite for individuals who are in need. If an individual loses a parent or caregiver, and they find themselves in an unsafe environment or can no longer stay at home by themselves, we turn to our providers for emergency respite. This year, several of these instances have occurred, and Pine Ridge, Pine Village have willingly opened their doors. Many thanks to Pine Ridge, Pine Village for their kindness and support. It is our good fortune to work with you. Unfortunately, our representative is not here tonight, but thank you for all you do in emergency respite. It is now our honor to present Kathy Lee with the Individual Provider of the Year Award. Kathy Lee has been a provider in Clermont County for several years. She works with numerous people that receive services and assists them to take part in their community. Whether she is transporting the individual to an activity or event, helping another grocery shop, or being a shoulder to cry on, Kathy can always be counted on. Several years ago, Kathy was a provider for someone whose mother was in her 90s. During a snowstorm, the mother fell, and it was Kathy who found her, assisted her to get the medical attention she needed, and stayed with the individual until new arrangements for placement could be made. Although this happened a few years ago, Kathy would do the same things if it happened again tomorrow. It's just part of her caring demeanor and kind heart. In addition, Kathy serves on numerous committees at Clermont DD, as well as attends our fundraisers whenever she can. She is a remarkable provider and community member. It is our good fortune to present Kathy Lee with the Provider of the Year. It is sometimes difficult to speak up for yourself in many situations, at home, at work, or in the company of friends. Many of us rely on the assistance of others because we feel unsure of how to express ourselves in an appropriate manner. Clermont DD began a self-advocacy program many years ago to assist individuals with developmental disabilities to find their voice and learn appropriate ways to speak their mind about issues that concern their personal beings. We have a self-advocates representative in the audience tonight. Josh Rowland, please come forward. I think Josh is here, but his picture was up there. As I already mentioned, it is sometimes difficult to speak up for yourself whenever you feel like your voice is not being heard. Advocating for what you think is right for yourself and others is an important piece of being a self-advocate. Tonight, we honor one person who has done this and more. Our self-advocate of the year for 2016 is Ben Lizard. Ben, would you come forward? working at the Donald A. Collins Center, where he is a leader to his peers and encourages them to work their hardest. He is also involved in community employment and is vocal about the type of job he wants. Ben does everything he can to prepare for job interviews. He has inspired others to apply for community employment, and even when he hits a roadblock, he holds his head high. As he searches for full-time employment, and he is one of the few people at SODC to do so, he has opened many doors between community employment and SODC to encourage others to follow suit. Ben serves on the SODC Human Rights Committee, where he can be a voice for others. He is a great guy who always strives to do his best. It is our good fortune to present Ben Blizzard with the 2016 Self-Advocate of the Year Award.
Thank you, Sharon, and congratulations again to all the people that have been honored to this point. If anybody would like to stand up now and take a little break from sitting, it'd be an alternative to a standing ovation. It's a chance to rearrange your underwear and get comfortable after you've been sitting for a while. So feel free to do whatever you like at this time. Thank you. Moving right along, foster parents are amazing people. They invite children into their homes, sometimes straight from the hospital, and they take care of them as if they're their own children. Our next award recognizes the unsung heroes who provide the caring, nurturing, protective approach to parenting of the many children that are placed in their care. It's not always easy to welcome somebody else's child into your house, but there are quite a number of amazing families in our county who do exactly that. Here to tell us a little bit more about this award and introduce you to an amazing foster parent is Leslie Long from Clermont DD's Early Intervention Program. Leslie?
Foster Parent of the Year Award goes to Candace McConaughey. Candace, can you please come forward? Candace McConaughey is a hardworking wife and mother, and more recently, a devoted foster mom to an amazing little boy. The little boy in her care came to her at just 6 months old with reactive airway disease and asthma, leading to multiple episodes of respiratory failure. Candace has become a strong advocate for her foster son, who battles multiple health and developmental concerns, including issues with his breathing, feeding, allergies, reflux, and gross motor delays. But together, they face these concerns on a daily basis, and she has given him a voice to fight. She has stood by him day and night through numerous doctor's visits, therapy sessions, testings, procedures, and even multiple hospitalizations. She has welcomed any advice or trainings that her little boy needs. And regardless of her schedule, she does what is needed to keep him healthy and does not give up when even the doctors are wondering what's going on. Early Intervention has been working with her and her family since April of 2016, and this little guy is making a lot of progress. Due to his multiple medical concerns and his hospitalization, he has some low muscle tone and motor delays. But through therapy sessions and working with physical therapy, he is now crawling and pulling the stand and on his way to walking. He's not able to put much weight on his arms and his shoulders, but Candace and I have been working together and have found ways to help him develop some of these skills so he can be more independent and move around freely on his own. Candace has done an amazing job keeping in contact with me and with early intervention, ensuring that there's follow-through both at home and also at his daycare. Candace continuously shows us how much she puts others before herself, reminding us that she does what she does because it's what's best for her foster child. She sacrificed her own feelings and attachment by working with Child Protective Services and his biological mother and training them in what's necessary to keep him healthy long term. Her go-to quote with us, and one that she says every time I have a session with her, is, "It's not about me. It's what's best for him." Knowing that others are needed to be capable of caring for him long term is what she thinks about most. Over the past couple of months working with Candace, I have seen how she has balanced her personal life, her career, and the growing need for a foster son with grace, determination, respect, and love that every child deserves. Congratulations, Candace McConaughey. It is my good fortune to present you with the 2016 Foster Parent of the Year Award. One moment, please.
While we're getting organized, look at where the slide has been frozen for everybody's benefit. What sound does a fox make? Okay. Our next award category is Advocate of the Year. This is presented to the person increased awareness of disability issues in our community while working towards the dissolution of barriers to people with disabilities. This award recognizes those who truly are a voice for people who have difficulty overcoming obstacles and representing themselves. To present the Advocate of the Year Award is Jay Williams, principal of the Thomas A. Wildy School. Jay.
Probably shouldn't have sat in the back of the building. Let's see. It is my honor to announce Jean Houston as the 2016 Advocate of the Year. Jean, would you please stand and come forward? This is supposed to be for Advocate of the Year, but I think Jean has been a lifetime advocate. Whenever someone says Jean's name, this year wasn't any different than the other 25 plus years she has been advocating for children and individuals with developmental disabilities. Jean has spent her life advocating for others and working with families, teaching them how to advocate for their own children. Understanding the complicated alphabet of the educational services, IDEA, FAPE, LRE, IEP, ETR, is daunting for professionals and overwhelming for parents. In 1999, Jean founded Families Connected of Clermont County, along with Brenda Cox, out of their passion to inform and empower other families. Families Connected continues to assist families in navigating services and complex systems. Today, Families Connected is still going strong and has now achieved nonprofit status. In 2009, the Mental Health and Recovery Board contracted with Families Connected to provide peer support partners for Fast Track, which was part of the SAMHSA grant. When most people would be thinking of retiring, Jean took on the leadership role as the lead family contact with Fast Track and continued to juggle her new responsibilities with being a mother, a wife, and keeping Families Connected active. Much of Jean's career has been in kind. She never did it for the recognition or for a paycheck. She did it because of her passion and because it was the right thing to do. Jean also volunteers as a representative for the Clermont County DD Behavior Support Human Rights Committee, which meets twice a month. She has touched the lives of many and has built bridges between families and schools. Schools Schools often call Jean to help families, and they respect her as an advocate and as a partner. It is our good fortune to recognize Jean Houston as the 2016 Advocate of the Year.
Thank you and congratulations. Next is the Business of the Year category. It recognizes employers in Clermont County who've hired a DD individual in the last year. This category also honors employers who've assisted an individual from Clermont DD to complete a community-based work assessment and honors the employer's commitment to providing a positive work environment for individuals from Clermont DD. Presenting these awards tonight is Jessica Petrie, Program Services Director.
Hello. We have the pleasure of working with many employers across Clermont County each year. These employers let us come into their places of business, conduct on-the-job training for the individuals with developmental disabilities, and become an unofficial part of the team. As a result, they form lasting relationships with our agency and the person they've just hired. It is Clermont DD's good fortune to have the opportunity to work with them. It is now our pleasure to recognize two outstanding businesses tonight. First, we honor Home Depot. Would the Home Depot representatives come forward? Home Depot on Ohio Pike and Cherry Grove works hard to maintain customer satisfaction. However, their employees are just as important. Home Depot management takes a strong stand on employee satisfaction. Ian Otto is the Human Resources Director, and in 2016, he hired 2 individuals from our Community Employment Services Department. He and his staff have offered to attend consumer staff meetings, resiliency meetings, and are always willing to offer assistance for the advancement of individuals served. Ian and the Home Depot staff have been very available to our job placement consultants, job coaches, and follow-on program manager. They offer suggestions and implement decisions in order for our consumers to succeed. The Home Depot employees work hard to implement accommodations when needed and make suggestions so the accommodations ensure the individual's success. It is our good fortune to recognize Home Depot as the 2016 Business of the Year.
congratulations. Volunteers, as we all know, play an important role at Clermont DD. They enhance the programs and services that are offered to children and adults by providing literally an extra pair of hands and a friendly smile, as well as a big heart. They open their hearts to any and all tasks needed, from assisting on activities, to serving on levy committees, participating in fundraisers, and serving as board members. They might work with a group or possibly share a one-on-one conversation with an individual from Clermont DD. Whatever the case may be, volunteers give of themselves freely and from the heart. Here to present volunteer awards is Lisa Davis, Director of Community Relations, and our own Twitter Williamsburg girl.
Well, I just have to say that I didn't mean to do that. And with a name like Lisa Davis, everyone has a Twitter account with my name. So since I live in Williamsburg, I became Williamsburg girl, and Greg hasn't let me forget it. So I'll try not to knock that off again. Let me just bring your attention to the screen. He was trying to get me to move it along. I'm like, yeah, no, he has. Because we had some of the video going, it was a little bit distracting, so I thought, oh, that's not going to be distracting, so let's leave Dan in the fox suit up there for a little while. And it's been nice working with you all, knowing you all, because I'll probably be fired tomorrow. And I do want to bring your attention to the fact that we do have a podium, or not a podium, but a tripod set up because we are live on Facebook. So if you follow Clermont DD on Facebook, or if you don't, you can go in, like us, and you can see it happening. It's about 10 seconds delay, so. And now that I've said that, nobody will come up here, right? Volunteers are truly amazing people. They line up every room they enter, bring a sense of goodwill and fun with them, and when they leave, the atmosphere loses a little bit of its sparkle because they're gone. Volunteers can be having the very worst day in the world, and you would never know it. The smiles on their faces and their enthusiasm certainly brighten our days. We have over 250 active volunteers, and we are excited to honor a few of them who can be with us tonight to take time away from their busy volunteer schedules to be with us. So please come forward when your name is called. We will start with our board members. Harry Snyder, please come forward. Harry Cooper Snyder. I had the opportunity to meet his dad when he was serving in elected official status when I was in high school, and worked with him on a couple of different projects. A wonderful man. I don't know what happened to you, but he's a wonderful man. Greg Carson. Greg and I went to school together. He is much older than I am. No, joke, he said. And I would say it's just by a few months, but I'm older than you by a few years. Shut up. Jeff Diesel, please come forward. Jeff is currently the treasurer of the Clermont DD Empowers Me board, which is our nonprofit board. They're actually the fundraising arm of Clermont DD, so they put together a lot of fundraisers that fund mostly our respite program, and Jeff shows up at just about every single one of those. He might be helping at fishing with a friend, or he might be assisting us at our lip sync battle, or signing checks so that we can pay our bills and donate that money to respite. So, you all please stay there. We appreciate what you do. And I'm not going to say anything about you. I'll tell you all later. Would Brady Barnhill please come forward? Let's talk about this wonderful young man for a moment. Brady is a Boy Scout, and he approached our agency because he was putting together, look, they're dancing. It's like Dancing with the Stars and lip sync battle all together. Okay, so Brady actually was putting together an Eagle Scout project, so he approached us and asked if he could do something for us. And the sign at the Thomas A. Wiley Center really needed to be stabilized. So he and several of his friends and his dad, several of his dad's friends, worked all summer to put beautiful rock around that sign, so it not only stabilized it, but it is absolutely beautiful. And the piece that's even more beautiful to me is the fact that Thomas Wiley was a board member many, many years ago. His son, Thomas Wiley III, was one of our board members for 12 years and very active in the community still today. So Brady contacted him and one of his sons, and the stone that is around the Thomas A. Wiley Center sign came from the Thomas Wiley farm in New Richmond. So that really made it even more special. So congratulations to you and good luck with achieving Eagle Scout status. Are you here close? All right. So go ahead and give him a round of applause. Are you former Eagle Scout in the back? Bob? Oh, yeah, definitely. A lead class, yes, student right here. Just so you know that only about 2% of Boy Scouts complete the Eagle Scout project, and we have the opportunity to work with several of them. So it's a pleasure. As Dan mentioned, and Greg Soika, we did run a levy, and we were able to pass that levy. We had an awful lot of people who worked on that levy committee that were partners of ours. So Sam Allen from Stepping Stones, would you please come forward so that we can say thank you for all your hard work. She attended countless meetings. They purchased buttons for us so that we could wear them everywhere, distributed them to everyone in the community, Jungle Gym staff, everyone, asking them, please wear this. It says, I support Clermont DD, and we couldn't be more thankful. Thank you so much. So you've been seeing the video that's going on up there. It's not right now, it's stopped on Dan. And his better half, actually, Liz. Dawn Bach is not here, but we do have someone else who was participating. She was the person who had the hairy chest in the Village People video that you might have seen. And if you didn't see it, we'll let it run just a little while so you can see that. Heather Fry, please come forward. Please get up and come forward. We invited everyone who participated in the lip sync battle to attend, and Heather is attending on behalf of the Community Leader of the Year. But we wanted to say thank you for participating in the lip sync battle, for raising money for our respite program, and for saying that she's already working on something for next year.
And the hair was fake. I don't have to
Best costume ever. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me thank these wonderful volunteers. We have a few people coming up to get pictures. All right, you can go ahead and sit down. There's a complete table of folks that, well, it was a complete table of folks, and only a few of them were able to come just because of weather. A couple of people were sick. So I'd like to highlight people who make our agency activity program sparkle. Will the Mount Carmel American Legion representatives please come forward? All of you please come forward. Ladies auxiliary members, please come forward. Sometimes it's really hard for someone who might live with their parents and not be able to get out and about because they can't drive, they don't have the opportunity to do that. So probably, I'm going to say 45 years or more, the Mount Carmel American Legion contacted our agency and said, could we please do some dances for you? Could we please do something? So those little parties have grown into probably, I would say 300 people attend a Halloween dance in October and then a Christmas dance. And these folks spend time doing fundraisers on their own so that they can purchase really nice gifts for every single person who is there, whether it's Halloween and it's a fun treat bag and pumpkins, or if it's a really nice Christmas gift. Big little scarves and hats and gloves one year, house slippers, the most in thing these guys always purchase for our group. Watches, it's just wonderful. Purses, and you made them, right? So it takes a special person to do that, and to make it, and it's an adult, it's in the Legion, so it's an adult activity. People can drop their individuals off there and know that they're in a safe place, they're well taken care of, and it's going to be a fun night for them. So please join me in thanking the Mount Carmel American Legion for all you do. And just so you know, the Christmas dance will be coming up, so if anybody wants to attend, you may not have room for this, but we'll be there. Our Volunteer of the Year award goes to a group of people who created a fishing event several years ago. We are honored that we have been able to participate in this event for over 6 years. Would the Southern Ohio Coon Hunters Club and members of the Clermont County Juvenile Probation Office please come forward? There's more of you than this. Just not here. There were other club things going on. Hang on just a second. We're going to wait for Suzanne to give them their awards. I don't have any jokes to tell, sorry. So I'll tell you just a little bit about them. We were approached by Doug Young in the middle and Nikki Nicodemus in 2010 to be part of something called Fishing with a Friend. This pairs people with disabilities and teenagers who are involved with Clermont County Juvenile Probation in an outdoor setting. Those who have disabilities get to experience fishing at a beautiful lake, the outdoors, beautiful weather, and the teens have the opportunity to meet with people they might never have the opportunity to meet if it wasn't for this. Little did we know that this would be one of the best experiences that we have ever had at Clermont DD. Doug and Nikki introduced us to Bobby Dobbs, who is a member of the Southern Ohio Coon Hunters Club. And what's interesting is it's just about 1.5 miles from the Wiley Center, one of our main buildings. So at the Coon Hunters Club, they have an absolutely beautiful lake, a very nice lodge that they allow us to invade once a year. And they stock their lake with lots and lots and lots of fish. Each year in October, they open their club and lake to 100 students and adults from the Clermont DD program. That's a lot of people, plus our staff. And I know we have staff in the back of the room who have attended. Can you guys raise your hands? Yeah, see? You'll have to come up and get their autographs later. Now, there's 100 people that are fishing, so where do the poles come from? Well, the club members bring their own fishing poles. Bobby asks everybody under the sun if he can just borrow their poles for the time, plus he uses his own. Nikki and Doug have supplies of poles that they allow us to use, and they even ask the game warden if he would mind, and he usually doesn't, and sometimes he stops by. Any student who is available on that day who is completing the adult or the probation hours for juvenile detention come to join us and to join in the fun. They help set up, they help bait hooks, they cast lines, they help reel in big fish. And at the same time, a bond is being formed that will last the rest of their lives. This program started by Mark McElrath, who was a longtime county employee, and I had the opportunity to work with Mark on several different committees. Sadly, Mark passed away. What year? 2010, okay. So it was the year that you guys approached us to do this. But I can tell you that his legacy lives on, and we celebrate him each year when we get together to fish and have a wonderful afternoon. It is truly our good fortune to recognize the Southern Ohio Coon Hunters Club and the Clermont County Juvenile Probation as the 2016 Volunteers of the Year. Please give them a round of applause. so much for everything you do for our agency and the people we serve.
Lisa, is this really being broadcast live
Yep.
on Facebook?
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
Hi. Jade, I wore the clean tie. There's no soup stains on it. Let's see. Joan and Ann, my two daughters in Chicago, you have a curfew tonight. Stay out of those Wrigleyville bars.
Greg,
What?
see?
The Friends of the DD Award shows the true spirit of committed community members. This award is presented to people who aren't volunteers, but they go above and beyond their day-to-day lives to make the world a better place for others. Presenting the Friends of the DD Award tonight is
Oh, I'm doing it again.
Williamsburg girl, Beck.
I could have stayed up here, I forgot. We had 3 winners in this category, but unfortunately, due to extenuating circumstances, none of them could be here this evening. But there was a family issue that arose with one of them at the last minute, so we wanted you to be aware of the great things that they've done. So I'm just going to quickly read their nomination. Earlier this year, Rhonda Baker approached us with an accessible van that she had to sell and wanted to sell. We learned of this, and Debbie Donahue, who is a service and support administrator who's here in the audience tonight, had just the person in mind. A young woman and her single mother live by very meager means. However, a vehicle would assist them to get out of the house for more doctor visits. As the mother was scraping together nickels and pennies, Rhonda graciously lowered the price, telling the family that they could pay her whenever they had the money, but the van was theirs to use. So in the meantime, our superintendent was approached by Lisa Meyer of the Hannah Meyer Memorial Foundation. Lisa's daughter, Hannah, had at one time received services from Clermont DD many years ago, and after she passed away, her family formed a nonprofit to assist people in the community. When we told her about this family needing the van, she jumped at the chance to help. She worked with FC Cincinnati to raise $1,000 for the family during a soccer game to put toward the rest of the van payment, as well as insurance for the next several months. And I will add that the family who were purchasing the van had really scraped together all of their funds and as many donations that family members had given them, and they just really needed a little bit of money for insurance until they could work that into their budget. But Lisa Meyer said, no way, we're going to raise as much money as we can. So she donated $1,000 to her. It is truly our good fortune to have the opportunity to present the Hannah Meyer Foundation as well as Rhonda Baker with the 2016 Friends of DD Award. So please give them a round of applause since we are live. Next, we are going to recognize Eastgate Lanes because of their support to our spring and fall bowling leagues. And Angie Stanton is going to come up and read the, I'm sorry, I just had to do that because the look on her face was priceless. Angie is our photographer for the evening, and she told me she'd take pictures as long as I wanted her to, but she wasn't going to come up and speak. So let me just tell you quickly about the Eastgate Lanes. We have worked with Bryce and Shirley from Eastgate Lanes that's in Milford on 28 for several years. They treat our group like any one of their leagues. They get to know each one of the bowlers personally, and it's a lot of bowlers. It's between 60 and 80 people that participate. They take time to assist them with whatever they need, and you will always see lots of high fives and smiles whenever strikes happen, which is never when I'm bowling. I had the opportunity to fill in for Angie a couple of weeks ago, and she sent me with a list of all the bowlers and what lanes they were going to be on. But Bryce from the bowling lanes already had them set up when I got there, and he was moving bowlers around according to what their needs were that day or who wanted to bowl with their friend and whatnot. In fact, we were waiting on somebody named Jeff, and Angie had only put down Jeff, and I didn't know what his last name was, and I couldn't place who it was. So it was really funny because Bryce said, "Oh, of course you know Jeff. You know him. He's always got a smile, a handshake, a fist bump." And then it hit me who he was, but I thought it was really interesting that he was having to tell me who the person was. So that right there told me that we were in the right place, that Eastgate Lanes is truly a place where everybody knows your name. And that means so very much to the people we serve. It is our good fortune to recognize Eastgate Lanes with the Friends of DD Award. And just so you know, we will make sure that Lisa Meyer, Rhonda Baker, and Eastgate Lanes staff are honored at one of our upcoming events. So again, please give them all a round of applause. And now I turn it back over to Greg.
Our next award will be presented by our own Superintendent, Dan the Fox Otten, for Community Leader of the Year. Foxman, will you please come forward?
Somehow I think I'm never, ever going to live this one down, so, you know, I did retire that costume. That costume will never make another appearance. Ever again, especially because it's been up there for an hour now. So our next award, that is what I'm doing here, so that's what he said, and not what the fox said. Right. So we are very blessed to have so many community leaders who take the time to learn about Clermont DD and the individuals that we serve, advocate for our services, and help us connect to the Clermont County community. Over the years, we've been fortunate to work with, we're going to wait on this one, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to wait on that one.
Okay, sorry. We're moving ahead in the script because we were waiting on someone to possibly make an appearance, so
Yes.
we're moving forward.
Yes. Good job.
I'm glad we're live. My wife's probably watching right now making complete fun of me. It is now my honor to present the 2016 Community Leader of the Year Award as we move along in the script. And that award is going to Mr. Bob Palke. So Mr. Bob Palke, please join me out. Yeah, and no turbans or anything, no costumes allowed this year. So we first met Bob when he became involved with the Lead Clermont program through the Clermont Chamber of Commerce. We've had several staff who've gone through that Clermont leadership class. But since meeting Bob, our world has become a much more positive, inspiring place to be. Bob's a leader by his own right, but his mission is to help others become leaders in all things: school, work, church, home, pretty much everything that folks are involved with. Bob is someone who includes everyone. It would never occur to him to leave someone out because of ability or disability. Last year, he approached Clermont DD to assist him in changing one of the Lead Clermont class days. He wanted the class to take a little bit different approach. So in March of this year, Lead Clermont hosted a class day at the Wildy Center and featured speakers from Clermont DD, including a question and answer segment with an individual from our self-advocacy group. Learning about disabilities and how everyone is basically the same regardless of ability or disability is what part of it was based on, and Bob was the person who drove that point home to the class. Bob's a member of many groups in the community. He's a Pierce Township trustee, as I mentioned earlier, works diligently to ensure the residents have a voice at the trustee level. He's a member of the Eastside Rotary Club. We are fellow members of that club, where service above self is the motto of not only Rotary, but Bob's life as well. He lends his talents to other groups, serving as master of ceremonies for fundraisers such as CASA, Clermont County Kids Charity Event, and even our, as you probably do remember, our event for the past couple of years. So, or maybe you want to forget, I don't know. So,
Never wore a fox outfit.
yes. Maybe next year.
Perhaps.
Bob is board chair of the Boys and Girls Club of Clermont County Board, and has served on the Business Advisory Councils for Great Oaks, and is an Eastern Area Action Council member for Clermont County and United Way of Greater Cincinnati. In short, Bob has a servant's heart, and it's because of his heart that Clermont County is a better place to live, work, and play. And I would just add to this, Bob was instrumental during our levy campaign, just being a strong voice for that, and we were very appreciative. I was very appreciative of that. Just being out there, communicating wherever that opportunity presented itself. He was there pushing me along in many instances to make sure we were getting that message out, and he was a strong voice for that, so we appreciate that for sure. So it's our good fortune to recognize Bob Palke as the 2016 Community Leader of the Year.
That's right. So you should.
Why?
Can I stand with you?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Make it
A
thin.
rose between two thorns.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He's so much. What can you do?
The Triumph Award is a special award that will be given tonight because it's given to one outstanding Clermont DD employee who gives it their all every day of the week, on evenings, on weekends. You get the picture. The name Triumph combines the words tribe and oomph, and is awarded to the employee who tries his or her best each day with a little added oomph to make Clermont DD a brighter place to be. This award has been kept a secret, and I think the mighty Karnak Bob Palke has it sealed and hermetically in a mayonnaise jar. And the only person tonight who knows their identity is the Fox man, Dan Otten. So although his voice is fading quickly, I'm going to ask him to come up forward one more time and announce the winner of this award.
All right, so I am pleased to announce that we had 8 very deserving staff who were nominated for this year's Triumph Award. These nominations came from their peers and are straight from the heart. And as I call, I would like, as for those that were able to be present tonight, as I call your name, if you could please come to the front, we'd like to recognize you. So first and foremost, we would like to recognize Angie Dunaway. Angie is a rehabilitation technician in the Wildly Adult Services Program. She goes above and beyond her job duties every day. Angie's very helpful to anyone who needs it, even if people don't ask. She's a great person with a wonderful personality and a positive attitude. So thank you, Angie. I'm kind of looking around the room, so some folks are here, some are not, so I'm going to check. Is Gail Hurst here tonight? Gail Hurst? No, Gail's not? Okay. Well, Gail was not able to make it, but I'm going to recognize her. Gail is also an rehabilitation technician in the Wildly Adult Services Program. She's uplifting, engaging with everyone she meets, whether she's presenting a new curriculum, assisting someone in the cafeteria, or greeting an individual at bus time. Gail's an awesome person to be around, so please recognize her. She might be watching. Next, we'd like to recognize Janet Risty. I did think I saw Janet, so is Janet here tonight? Janet is a service and support administrator, and she's just an exceptional person. She gives 150% every day to ensure the individuals she serves are receiving the best services available and are living a healthy and happy life. She views every task and change with a positive outlook. Honest, kind, resourceful. Those are things to talk about when we're talking about Janet. Nothing stands in her way when she's getting the job done, so we want to recognize Janet tonight, so thank you. Next, we'd like to call up Susan Liu. Susan?
Susan also is a service and support administrator. She is on the same team with Janet in the area there. So Susan not only exemplifies what an SSA should be, but she strives to make sure her individuals that she works with get what they need and advocates for them on a daily basis. Susan is passionate about what she does and always reaches out to others for ways to make Clermont DD a better work environment. So thank you, Susan. I don't think Rob was able to make it, but Rob Lorenzen, is Rob here tonight? So, I don't think so. But I'll read about Rob because he does an unbelievable job. He is in our Wiley School Services program. He's a teacher, a great teacher, having worked in pre-vocational then vocational classes before becoming the adaptive physical education teacher. In all of these roles, he always positively influences students to do better, making themselves into productive workers and citizens in Clermont County. Rob took over the Wiley School Special Olympics program and has made it a success for all the students involved. He was able to positively encourage parents to allow their children to participate as athletes, those who in the past would have never considered their children for Special Olympics competition. He made them champions, helped build self-esteem, and made them prideful in all of their accomplishments. Shows to have the best swimming experience possible. So please recognize Rob. Next, I'd like to call up Carla Tabertke. Carla, I can see Carla. So Carla also works in our Wiley School Services program. And she's a speech and language pathologist at the Wiley School. You're probably gonna, so, where she's worked since 1977. So, she has worked in our school age program since 1977. Just unbelievable, just in terms of your loyalty and commitment to what's going on and what you've probably seen over the years in terms of the services that you provided. So, thank you. She continues to amaze us every day in the way she finds methods for the students to engage in activities and express themselves. She's embraced available technology throughout the years and is constantly looking for new and better equipment so the students are able to be successful. Carla's biggest contribution is in how much time she gives to the teachers. She realizes her time with the student is limited, so she wants to make sure that the teachers have the access to the same technology she uses and that they understand how they can use it. She is always on the cutting edge. So thank you, Carla. Last but not least, we'd like to recognize Coral Kearns. Coral, could you please come? Coral Kearns is an administrative assistant for the Community Support Services Program. In her daily routine, she is the core of all the day-to-day processing and follow-up in seeing that individuals receive the funding for services from Clermont DD and have everything in place to achieve the desired outcomes in their plans. Her organizational skills and attention to detail allows others to easily access needed information in her absence. She's taken ownership of reorganizing the large volume of CSS procedures as her special project in an effort to provide needed support to all the other staff looking for help and direction. Coral volunteers to work several fundraisers, the polls during levy time, and coordinates the provider training services that are offered 6 times per year. So Coral, thank you very much for everything. So, although each of you is very deserving of this award, we can only give it to one person. And unfortunately, that one person is not here tonight. So, Mr. Rob Lorenzen is the Triumph Award winner for 2016. While we're here, he'd probably be running around. I mean, if you ever got a chance to meet Rob, he is one of the most energetic guys, but I think he had some, like maybe a medical procedure today or something going on, so he wasn't able to be here. But we definitely wanted to thank him for everything that he does for the agency. So thank you all. we're expecting one more guest tonight, but he is not here yet, and we're hoping to give him just another minute to see if he might be able to show. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and do our group picture real quick, and then see if that gives him enough time to be able to show. And if not, then we'll just have to do without him. So for everyone that has received an award tonight, if you all can come to the front up here, and we'll go ahead and get pictures, and then we'll wait. So, all right.
Do not be bashful. Everybody who got a certificate or award, please come on.
Jeff, be your breath. Don't do.
I'm not.
Whoever's hiding in the back, come on. Step in right over here. Okay. Slide in. Give them all a round of applause.
So we were hopeful to still have a couple of recognitions tonight. One in particular, one of our commissioners, Bob Prowl, is retiring at the end of this year. And he is, tonight, he is at a dinner that he was attending, and that is a monthly commitment of his, and he was hoping to be able to make it tonight. We had really planned on trying to do that, but we didn't want to kind of hold everyone and do that. So we definitely wanted to take just a second. We are so very blessed to have so many community leaders who take the time to learn about Clermont DD and the individuals that we serve, advocate for our services, and help us connect to the Clermont County community. Over the years, we've been fortunate to work with 4 county officials who are retiring at the end of this year. These gentlemen are Commissioner Bob Prowl, County Treasurer Bob True, Sheriff Tim Rodenberg, and the Honorable Judge Tom Herman. And each one of them in their own right have been true advocates for the services that we offer to individuals in this county. I know Bob, for the years that he's just been a huge advocate of services for folks with developmental disabilities. Always the first one to support anything that we're doing in terms of, especially when it comes to levy time, so we're very appreciative of that. And also we recognize in terms of Sheriff Rodenberg, over the years, many of the folks from the Sheriff's Department have been involved with activities at the Wildey Center, our basketball team that they put together. competing against our teams at the Wiley Center. And so again, and for the other two, Bob True and Judge Herman. So we just wanted, we do have gifts for them that we will make sure we get to them to help them enjoy their retirement. So we just wanted to take a second to recognize them. So if you could all, we pass this. Now we turn it back over to our seat.
You've probably figured out by now, my landlady, when I was in graduate school, found out I was earning a PhD, and she looked at me, Ed, and she said, Greg, you know what PhD stands for, right? And I said, no, tell me, Aunt Kate. She said, post-hole digger. But not in your case. I said, really? She said, no. In your case, it's piled higher and deeper. So, what a great evening. I'd like to give one more opportunity for all the nominees, all the winners, and everybody who's been recognized here to stand up so we can give you one more thing. Please stand. Winston Churchill once said, "You make a living by what you get. We make a life by what you give." Our volunteers give their time, talents, and energy every time they say yes. The result is our county is a great place to live, work, and play. So I want to close by telling you and asking you the next time you're asked to volunteer, keep calm, say yes, and volunteer. Thank you for this wonderful evening. Thanks everyone again. Have a safe trip home. God bless you all.
Don't forget to take your candy jar.
Thank you so very much for joining us.